Good afternoon and welcome to the review of our stay at Boardwalk Inn.
Yeah.
It was a good stay. I really enjoyed staying at Boardwalk and I'm glad that we finally checked it off of our list.
I had a really great stay as well, although a lot of you guys did say that we need to stay at the yacht club.
Okay.
So I don't think our list is technically done.
Let me see. Try it. Twist my arm. Okay.
Oh no, we have to stay at another Disney resort.
Stay at the yacht club.
And then some people were also mentioning that they couldn't find the video of us staying at Pop Century, but I know that we stayed there one night way before kids, like a million years ago. So I think we need to stay there again too.
Yeah.
And I think that wasn't like a dedicated video to like a stay. I think we were doing something else and we didn't want to drive home. So we like stayed there overnight, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll stay at Pop and we will stay at Yacht Club. And then our list will be done.
Yeah.
So
We'll do it at the same time.
will we?
One of us will sleep at Pop and one of us will sleep at the yacht club.
I volunteer for Yacht Club.
What? Man, this was my idea.
But so in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to break down the dining plan because we did have the quick service dining plan. We're going to break down our review of the room, the stuff we liked, the stuff we didn't like, and the resort as well, the stuff we liked and didn't like about the resort. But it really was a great stay. Overall, we had a really, really great time.
So speaking of the dining plan, let's jump right into how our experience was and what happened, like how the money worked out. So we got the quick service dining plan. There are two different dining plans available. There's the Disney dining plan and the quick service dining plan.
We've used the Disney dining plan. We went to Animal Kingdom Lodge. We did a whole video on that. I'll link that one down below in case you're interested in the other dining plan.
So included in the quick service dining plan is 2 quick service meals per night of the stay, as well as 1 snack per night of the stay. And then you also get a refillable resort mug for the entirety of your stay.
And that's per person.
Right.
So for us, I got the dining plan, you got the dining plan, Jackson got the dining plan. Oliver didn't get the dining plan because they don't offer it to anybody under the age of 3.
Right. So it goes, kids are from the ages of 3 till 9, and then everything else is an adult.
Yeah. So for us, I would say just overall, I think that the quick service dining plan was a bad move for this stay.
For this stay.
Because there's not a whole lot of options at the boardwalk. So we ended up having to travel outside of the boardwalk to get food, which a lot of you guys mentioned in yesterday's video in the comments. You said, so for anybody going into the park, they would just use their dining plan in the park. But we were doing pretty much like strictly a resort stay. We were just hanging out at the resort. So for us specifically, it wasn't a great idea.
Right.
But for somebody else, it could be great. So the way that it worked is that it was $57.01 per adult per night. And then for Jackson, so for kids, it was $23.83 per child per night. So for each night of our stay, that equaled out to $137.85 for 2 adults and 1 child per night. And then for the total of our stay, it was $413.55 for the total dining plan for our stay.
And I want to reiterate, this is the price of the dining plan, not the cost of the food. So
Right.
I know that that's a little bit confusing because basically what happens with the dining plan is you pay ahead of time for your food. And you do have the ability to save money. And I will say this, I don't think that the saving the money part is the biggest draw. And I know that sounds so strange.
What's the biggest draw?
The biggest draw is not having to worry about it. So, and we overheard somebody talking about this at breakfast one day. She's like, I don't care if I saved money. I don't care if it cost me more money to do the dining plan or not. She's like, I like it because I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
I can say, because they were doing the regular dining plan. She's like, I know that if we pick a place to go eat dinner, I don't have to worry about seeing how much each thing costs. You didn't have to like look at the cost of each individual item and be like, well, that's too expensive.
Yeah.
We'll go with this like hamburger instead of the...
Well, and speaking
whatever.
about that, so the last time we did the dining plan, I was trying to maximize it and I was trying to get the most expensive thing. This time I didn't worry about that. I just ordered what I wanted to order. And if it was the most expensive thing, great. And if it wasn't, great.
Right.
So I guess, yeah, it did make it easier in that sense. But I still don't think it was worth it for us to have the dining plan at the boardwalk and not go into the resorts.
Right. Because the Boardwalk does not have a good quick service option. So their quick service option is the Boardwalk Deli, and that did not have a huge selection. It didn't actually have any kids meals for breakfast.
So we ended up going across the way over to Beach Club and Yacht Club, which honestly wasn't bad. It was a nice walk. It was, nice to get out and like walk around the boardwalk. But I do wish that there were more options at the resort. So we mentioned in an earlier video, we are going to be doing the quick service dining plan again at a different resort. That'll be coming up really soon. But hopefully we have a different experience.
And the options at that resort, much better.
Yeah. So let's talk about how much did we actually spend. If we had purchased the food with our own money, how much would we have spent and how much did we save by prepaying with the dining plan?
Right. So we're not going to go through each individual item. No. What we will do is tell you our total that we spent for breakfast and whatever, meal that we had.
Yeah, per day. So Day 1, we were checking in. We only had dinner.
Right.
So we went to Primo Piatta. We had 2 adult meals. And then we actually had 2 kids meals while we were there. They did end up using one of Jackson's meals on Oliver. We didn't realize they did that, but it was nice that they did do that. So.
And that is a hint for you or a tip for you. If you're using the dining plan and you want to buy something separate, do it as a different order.
You have to tell them. You have to specifically say I want to pay cash for this or whatever. So our total for dinner the first night at Primo Piatta was $124.63.
With an asterisk, because we did get the cups that day. The cups are a very large portion of the cost that you save using the dining plan.
It was like $70.
Right, so each cup after tax is around $23.
For us specifically, we don't need the cups. I could do without the cups.
And I can understand that some people would love the cups. If you're a huge soda drinker.
Not even just soda, because you can do coffee and tea, and we did water. We just did water.
I will give you a word of warning about the coffee. If you put coffee in a refillable cup, your cup will taste like coffee for the remainder of your trip.
It doesn't go away.
You could put whatever you want in there. You're going to have Coca-Cola, tastes like coffee Coca-Cola. It doesn't go away.
Right.
So, but if you're a soda drinker, you could buy or you could refill your mug around 6 times and it will have paid for itself.
Yeah.
In the cost of sodas.
So for us, like I said, we probably could do without the mugs. We'd be fine without the mugs, but it's just like an added plus.
So yeah, the cups were a huge part of the savings on the first day. Mm-hmm. And then for day 2, we actually only had breakfast on the dining plan and a snack at the pool. So we actually only ended up spending $65.06 that day.
But that night is when we went to Flying Fish for dinner, and that was like a special Mother's Day treat. So that was not included in our quick service dining plan because that was signature dining, but we paid for that separately on our own.
And I will say that the one advantage to getting the regular dining plan is that you can take 2 of your sit-down meals and turn them into a signature dining meal or a character dining meal. You have no way to convert quick service meals into anything on the quick service plan.
So originally we thought that we would be able to do 2 for a table service, 2 quick service for a table service. But then, we realized you can't do that. So that could be a deal breaker for people because you can only do quick service meals. And I feel like by the end of a 7-day trip, you might get tired of the quick service options.
Right.
I know I would.
And the good news is you only have 2 quick service options per day. So that's just 2 meals. More than likely, you're going to end up paying for a meal.
Yeah.
So that could be one of the things that you're paying for.
Gotcha. Yeah.
For day 3, we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner that day. So we ended up spending $147.10.
Yeah.
And one of the interesting things that I noticed on this day in particular was that when we ordered breakfast, there were some other things that we got. We got a side of a croissant, we got a side of bacon, and those were included in the meals that we got. So I ordered a bounty platter and then a side of bacon and a bakery item, and those were included in our quick service meal.
But I don't know if they were supposed to be.
So on the last day, because we were trying to check out and everything, the only option we had for quick service was the Boardwalk Deli. And so we ended up spending $34.67 on 2 adult meals, but we still had 1 quick service kids meal left.
And I think we used a snack that day we got Jackson wanted a muffin.
Right.
So we missed out on using 1 kids quick service meal.
Right. So we actually ended up overpaying.
When we did the math, we overpaid by $42.09.
Right.
So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Ding dang.
I didn't realize that until right now. So the quick service dining plan was not worth it for us on this trip.
Right.
We overpaid.
Which stinks, but like I said, it's the convenience of it. And also, I didn't add up any of the times that we used the soda machines.
Yeah.
So like, how deep into the mathematics do you want to go? I didn't add up the time that we saved.
I think we spent a lot of time trying to figure out where to eat that was on the dining plan. So I think for us, it was convenient in the fact that it was prepaid, but it was inconvenient in the fact that we had to constantly be like, okay, where's their quick service? Where can we go? What time does that end? You know, do they have something for Jackson? Whereas if we had just been like kind of going with the flow, it probably would have taken us less time to pick our food.
Right.
So it was convenient, but also inconvenient.
Right.
So I think for us, the dining plan was a fail on this trip.
I think so.
We shouldn't have used the dining plan.
And that's okay. That's why we're here. We're here to learn and to grow and to inform you all.
We'll make the mistakes, and so you guys don't have to make the same mistakes, hopefully, that we made.
Right.
But overall, like we said, the resort was great. We had a great time. There were also some pros and cons to the resort, but like overall, it was really a nice stay.
And I will say this. I would stay at the Boardwalk again.
Oh, I would too. Yeah, I would stay at the Boardwalk again, for sure.
I want to stay in one of those garden rooms.
I know, we kept walking by them. They're like the honeymoon suites is what people were calling them. But they're not as big inside as I thought it was.
Right.
It just has the loft upstairs,
Right.
and then there's like the living room downstairs. So I don't love that Jackson would have to sleep downstairs like by himself. But the rest of it has like really beautiful like little balcony patio. It has a little kitchenette. Yeah, I want to stay in one.
The landscaping was nice.
Yeah, it's cute. So let's talk about what we did like about the room that we stayed in. We had a standard room with a resort view, which I thought meant like theme park view, but I think it just meant
You can see the resort that you're staying in, the Boardwalk Inn. And we stayed on the inside, which is the actual hotel side. There is a DVC side, a Disney Vacation Club side, that has the bigger rooms, the 1 bedrooms, the 2 bedrooms, the studios that have kitchens and things like that. We didn't stay over there. We stayed on the regular inside. And I got to say, overall, my favorite thing, the thing that I will go back to over and over again about this resort and about this stay is the shower. That shower was so good. It was like standing underneath a fire hose.
it definitely had really good water pressure. The temperature was great.
Just the pure amount of water that came out was massive.
I also like the size. We just by chance got like a bigger room.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was, I don't think it was an accessible room, but it kind of felt like it was an accessible room.
Yeah, there were no grab bars anywhere, things like that.
But it was definitely, we had more space, which was great because we had the stroller, we had our luggage. It was nice to just have that extra area.
Yeah.
So that was wonderful. I also liked that we were like kind of far away from things, but I also didn't like that. But I liked how quiet it was because we were far away from the lobby and from the other pool. We were by the quiet pool. That was really great.
Right. So we were the second to last room.
Yeah, we were we were far away from stuff, which again is also one of my cons, but it was a pro because it was so nice and quiet.
Right. And there was nobody out in the hallways. You didn't hear anything. And we also had a door right outside of our door that led us outside.
Yeah, so
and
it was like easy access to the outside, which is great.
The quiet pool was there.
Yeah, it was right
You
there.
go outside the door and you could walk 15 steps into the pool.
I also liked that we had that couch bed. I think all of the standard rooms come with that couch bed, but it was great because the baby could sleep there. It was just nice to have the third bed.
Yeah.
So that worked out really well for us. So now that we've told you what we loved about the room, let's talk about what we didn't love so much about the room.
Although we loved how far away from everything it was, we also disliked how far away it was from everything.
Well, it was just so weird that we were so far away from the boardwalk, which is like the main kind of like entertainment, the main place where like everything is on the boardwalk. So it was kind of a far walk to the boardwalk, but we also had to go, because we were on the first floor, then we had to go up to the second floor, then we had to come back down to the first floor, and then we could go to the boardwalk.
Right.
So that was weird. It just didn't feel like very user friendly. It seemed like strange that you had to do that.
And it was confusing because there were 2 elevators.
Yeah.
You came to the first one and that elevator took you to the boardwalk. And then you came to another elevator and that took you down to the first floor that could take you to the room. And as we were checking out, we ran into another family that was trying to carry all their luggage down the stairs. And I was like, no, there's an elevator right here. And they didn't know where the elevator was.
Yeah, I do remember that. And there was also a lady that I met who was in an ECV, and she's like, I'm just trying to get to my room. And I was like, oh, where's your room? She said, it's over there. And I said, okay, my room's over there. So what you have to do is you have to go down the elevator. She's like, I just came up from that elevator. And I was like, I said, did you come from that one, which was the Boardwalk elevator? She said, yeah, aren't they the same? And I was like, no, they're like, it was just very confusing.
Right.
So yeah, that was weird. It just seemed odd that they set it up that way, but I still love the Boardwalk, and we still went to the Boardwalk multiple times a day.
And I also loved passing by the flowers on the way to the Boardwalk.
Oh, I did too. Jackson loved the flowers. He was like, these smell so good. He's so cute. He loves, like, I don't know, he's just a little cutie, but he loved smelling the flowers, and I loved that.
Yeah.
So another thing about the room that I didn't like is that there was a space under the door.
Right.
Like under the front door where you enter the room, there was a noticeable space.
It was like 1.5 inches or inch tall. It was very big.
So I think if we had been in a louder part of the resort, that would have annoyed me, because I think we would have been able to hear everything in the hallway.
Right.
But what I didn't like about it, we didn't really hear anything because we were in a quiet part of the resort, but I didn't like how it was so bright. The light from the hallway was just shining under the thing so bright. So we had to put a towel there.
Yeah.
So that it was dark in our room. So that was weird.
Also, I really enjoyed how cold it got in our room.
Oh, it was freezing.
Yeah.
I think partially because there was no carpet.
Oh, yeah.
It was just very cold all the time, which is good because we're all kind of like hot. Like the baby sleeps really hot. Jackson sleeps really hot. So it was good that we weren't like waking up sweaty in the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. And then, the other thing that I didn't love was that the balconies were not separated.
Oh, yeah.
So I never saw anybody out there. I know that there were people next to us because they put their bathing suits out on their chairs, but we never saw them. But I feel like we probably didn't see them because they didn't want to be out there.
They didn't want to be out on the balcony either.
Like with other people. Yeah. So nobody used their balconies.
And this was just the first floor balconies.
The floor above us had little partitions. They were separate.
Yeah.
So that was weird because we had this like beautiful like patio space that we couldn't use, or we didn't use.
Right.
So now that we've talked about the room, the other thing I wanted to mention about the room too is that it was definitely showing some like wear. I didn't get any pictures of this, but the bathroom was really dirty and it wasn't dirt that you could wipe up. It was dirt that was like in the grout.
Right.
Or dirt that was like in the caulk, like on the baseboards. It was dirt that couldn't be cleaned.
Right.
And so the room looked like it needed a refresh, but I think it was just refreshed.
Right.
So that was like a little bit, I was kind of like, oh, okay. But overall though, again, we really did like the room.
And also I will want to mention this because at Disney, they have replaced the do not disturb signs with room occupied signs.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about this.
Yeah, and so room occupied does not mean do not disturb.
Yeah, so
they will still disturb you.
The third night, when the baby, I mentioned in the video, yesterday's video, that the baby had like a 2-hour nap. He like needed his nap. And about 20 minutes into his nap, they knocked on the door. The housekeeping knocked on the door, but the sign was on the door. So I thought that they would just knock once and then maybe not knock again. And then they knocked and they knocked and they knocked. So finally because the baby was in my arms, I got up and I opened the door like really quiet. And I was like, hey, no, thank you. The baby's asleep. And he goes, I said, the sign's on the door. And he said, yeah, I know. Do you need service in your room? And I was like, no, thank you. I said, I have a sleeping baby. Like the sign's on the door, And so it didn't matter. And then, he closed the door and the baby went back to sleep. But I thought that was kind of strange. I thought that they wouldn't knock on the door if that sign was on the door.
Right, because we had asked for bed rails for that little couch bed.
Yeah.
And when I called to tell them about it, they said, just make sure that the sign's not on the door so they can go into your room and deliver these things.
Yeah.
The bed rails. So like
I
they
think-
wouldn't go into the room with the bed rails with the sign there, but they will to service it?
Well, and I know that things have changed since the Las Vegas shooting. Like I
Right.
know that they will go into the room every day just to like as a wellness check basically. And so I understand that. But I don't know. I didn't think that I don't know. I didn't think he was going to knock on the door when the baby was asleep.
Right.
So anyway, so that was something that I didn't love because it woke the baby up, but I understand why they have to do it.
Right.
So, but now let's talk about the resort, our pros and our cons for the resort.
Right.
The pros were we had so much fun. The pool is so fun. Both pools were great. The quiet pool is great. The Luna Park pool is amazing. The slide is great. The food at the pool bar, the leaping horse libations.
Leaping horse libations, yeah.
The food there is great. There were some good options there. I also really loved all the activities. So Jackson made a friendship bracelet. We tie-dyed t-shirts. We did the Surrey bikes. They had the movie on the lawn. A lot of you guys were asking what the mystery movie was, and I commented back to some of you guys, but it was Raya and the Last Dragon.
Yeah.
That was the mystery movie. But they had a movie every night, and there was always kids playing on the lawn. It was just walking around the boardwalk was a lot of fun.
And there was also some fun entertainment options on the boardwalk.
Oh,
Like there
yeah.
were jugglers and magicians and
So in one of the videos, you showed the magician and he was like trying to melt a fork. And I didn't show the end of that trick because the kid who was holding the fork, she held it right in front of her face and I would be like filming her face. So I didn't want to put her face in our video. But he melted the fork.
he melted the fork and her reaction was, "This is insane!"
She's
said
like,
that.
she goes, "Wow, like this is really magic." And so that was it was cool to see. But yeah, there were people that were like juggling and balancing on chairs. And it really felt like, I don't know, it felt like a different,
Felt like the boardwalk.
I've never been to the boardwalk in New Jersey or wherever it's supposed to be, but I felt like if this is what it's like, I want to go.
I will say, the only disappointing thing was that corn dog stand hasn't opened yet. I want that corn dog.
So I guess before Chris Pratt, our friends over at the Holy Moly, that's his channel name, he said that before that turned into blue ribbon corn dogs, it was a corn dog stand.
Yeah.
And he said it was like the best corn dog and they ate there every time that they stayed at the boardwalk. So ding dang, we
missed out on it.
missed
We'll
on
just have to go back when the corn dogs are there.
So when we stay at the yacht club, because we are going to do that, we'll walk over to the boardwalk and have a corn dog.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that we do that.
Also really loved the proximity of everything. So like yacht club and beach club were close enough. Dolphin was close enough. You could walk to Hollywood Studios if you wanted to, but there was also a friendship available. You could walk over to the Skyliner, take that over to Caribbean Beach, take that over to Riviera, take that over to Pop Century, Art of Animation, over to Hollywood Studios. You could walk into Epcot right there.
Although we didn't have any park days on this trip, it would have been very easy to do park days. So
Right.
that was one of the reasons why we wanted to stay at the boardwalk was because we stayed at a Skyliner resort when we stayed at Art of Animation and we loved it. So this time we didn't go into the parks and that was purely because we let Jackson kind of lead the way and he just wanted to do stuff at the resort, which we were fine with.
Yeah.
It was a nice change of pace. But yeah, the proximity to everything was great. The boardwalk was so much fun. I loved the atmosphere of the boardwalk. I loved just that you could watch the sunset like out on a bench at the boardwalk. It was just so nice.
Eating ice cream or pizza.
Yeah.
Or a corn dog eventually. Or some like nice baked goods from the bakery that's going to open up.
Oh, I'm excited for that to open. Yeah. I think once those places open, it'll be an even better place to stay. So now that we've talked about all the things we love about the boardwalk, there was really only one thing we didn't love about the boardwalk.
And that was those little children chairs in the lobby.
The nanny chairs.
The nanny chairs.
No, it was that there really wasn't much in the way of quick service dining, and we stayed there for the quick service dining.
Right.
So I wish there were more food options. I didn't love that the lack of food options.
But don't worry. On our next stay, I'm going hard on getting the most out of the quick service dining plan.
Oh, you mean the next hotel that we stay at? Yeah, me too. Same.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it was a great stay. We had so much fun. Oh, I want to show you guys the tie-dye shirts, like the full look of the tie-dye shirts, because they turned out so cute. So you saw Tim's, but This one is Oliver's. Look how cute. You did such a great job. The colors turned out
Thank you.
amazing. I can't wait for him to wear it. He's going to be the cutest little tie-dye baby. Jackson did an amazing job on his too. So he like loves pink and purple. His Mickey is pink. And then on the back, he got a big space of orange, which I love. Orange is my favorite color. But he's going to wear this
Tomorrow, I think.
yeah, tomorrow at school. He's so excited. He's like, I want to wear my Mickey tie-dye shirt. And I love all of the memories that we made. He loved going into the, oh yeah, yours looks awesome.
Yeah.
It turned out so good.
Yeah.
This is really like, we're going to share it. But I
Yeah,
thought
you made this. I didn't do anything with this one.
oh yeah. I did such a great job. But we made so many fun memories. I can't wait to go back. Jackson was asking to go back already. So I don't know. It was a really fun time.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I hope you guys had fun joining along with us, and hopefully you learned a little bit about the dining plan, learned a little bit about the boardwalk. But yeah, we had a great time. Thank you for coming along.
Yeah. So all in all, it was a fantastic stay. And with that being said, we are off. We'll see y'all tomorrow. And now it's time to pay the price.